Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we are going to be ranking each Doctor's penultimate story that I've seen from worst to best. This was something one of my subscribers suggested when they were watching one of my videos I'd been doing where I'd been ranking a Doctor's second, third, fourth story. And they came up with the idea of doing each Doctor's penultimate story, because a lot of people do post-regeneration stories and regeneration stories. I don't know if anyone's ever ranked their second to the last story, their penultimate story. But that's a pretty good idea. Yeah, let's go with that. Interesting thing is I was going over the list, I soon realized there's several of the penultimate stories I've never seen. Hartnell's penultimate story, The Smugglers, never seen it. Or in its case, heard it, seen telesnaps of it since it is completely missing. The Space Pirates, never seen it, obviously, since most of it's missing. Never read it. That's actually one of the novelizations I'd love to get a hold on. Maybe fly a tracker or track a copy of it down somewhere, but I hear it's kind of pricey. I do want to read that one. And Monsters of Peladon I've never seen either. That's one of the, I think, 3 Pertwee stories I've never seen. Although I've seen part of the Time Monster. But there's only about 3 of his I haven't seen yet. So that's like 3 of them right there. And then, of course, the 8th Doctor's. I don't even know if we know what his penultimate story would be. So I've never seen that one. So that's 4 out of 13 that I can't vote on because I've never seen them. So we're only going to have a list of 9. I'm going to go with the 9, penultimate stories that I've seen. And in 9th place is Legend of the Sea Devils. This one's awful. Legends of the Sea Devils is terrible. The only thing I can really say I like about it is that they did kind of stick with that classic Sea Devil design. The Sea Devils do look like the Sea Devils. They look like the original Sea Devils. I like that they stuck with the classic Who design instead of redesigning them like they did with, say, the Silurians, which was terrible. I like that. Everything else about that episode is hot garbage. Well, some of the effects look pretty good. Some of them don't. But like that scene when the TARDIS is underwater, you know, and Whitaker and Yaz are talking. The graphics right there, the special effects right there do look really good. I'll give it that. I like that little underwater shot of the TARDIS. But there's something with this episode. It's like it's edited badly. Like it was changed a lot in post-production. It's edited weird and wonky. Like that scene when Dan takes out all of the Sea Devils by going, we have to sword fight like 50 of them. I'm like, what? It's weird the way that works. You know, watching the Sea Devils do the like Super Mario jump onto the ship. Oh, it's one of the worst episodes of Doctor Who ever made. Utter garbage. Utter garbage. Utter garbage. Number 8 on the list is The Waters of Mars. I just don't click with this episode the way some people do. I'm not even sure why, honestly. Because I know it's a popular one. It's a lot of people's favorites from the 2009 special. It's a lot of people's favorite from the 2009 specials. I like the idea. It just doesn't work. I like the guest cast. I love the woman playing Adelaide Brooks. She's great. She's good in it. Lindsay Duncan, I think that's her name. And Tennant's great in it. I love the Ice Warriors name drop because they hadn't been seen in the modern series at that time. I loved that. I love the ending with the Time Lord Victorious stuff. I love all of that. But I hardly ever go back and rewatch this now. I've seen it at least half a dozen times, at least. I mean, I do believe Graham Harper directed it, so it's directed well. For some reason, I never clicked with this one. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm just burned out on the zombie thing. Although it is a very Doctor Who take on zombies. I'll give it that. But I just don't click with Waters of Mars. I just don't for some reason. Number 7 is Planet of Fire. I liked Planet of Fire. I've only seen the regular version. I've never seen the special edition with the updated effects. I mean, I've watched a YouTube video of them, but I've never just watched the whole story with them. And it's all right. I'm not a big fan of Chameleon. It's a great introduction for Perry, especially with the bathing suit, which I know Nicola Bryant gets way too many questions about. And if I ever meet her, I promise I will never bring that up. But it's nice to see. It's nice to get a little more time with Five and Perry together. I do enjoy that. The whole reason why the Master is having to control Chameleon is kind of silly, where he accidentally shrunk himself. That's kind of silly. I like that Turlo gets some good character development in it. And I think he gets a pretty good send-off. I enjoy that. And some of the set looks really good, I will admit, some of the sets. I don't know, it's good. Just, there's others on the list I like better. I like all of them at this point. Number 6 is Boomtown. I like Boomtown. Boomtown is not necessarily essential Doctor Who. You could call it filler, I guess. But it's fun. Boomtown's a lot of fun. Boomtown does a good job with mixing these serious moments with very humorous moments. Like, I like when, you know, the Slitheen woman's, they're in the bathroom with the reporter, and she ends up not killing the reporter because she actually has a little, you know, her conscience kind of affects her there. That was a really serious moment. I enjoy that. I love the humorous moment, though, when the Doctor first goes to meet her and he is telling her, tell her the Doctor would like to see her. Doctor, just the Doctor. The Doctor. She's going out the window, isn't she? And then when she's trying to teleport away and Eccleston's just using a screwdriver to bring her back, and she'll teleport away again, and he's just, with that little grin of his, that very Tom Baker grin, and she does it again, and he's just like, that's funny. That's funny. But then you get that really serious, I love the dinner scene between him and her when they're having the dinner. Because it goes back and forth between being serious and funny. There are the funny moments, like when she keeps trying to kill him, and he keeps avoiding it with either the spray or switching the glasses and the claw. Did you know we could... He's like, yep, I did know that actually. The way Eccleston plays that scene is really funny with his grin. She's like, thank you. And he's like, that's funny. But then they have that very serious talk about, you know, what it means to be a killer. You know, you've been wearing that face for too long. You're staring through the eyes of a dead woman. And that bit about, you know, every now and then you let one go. And she's like, only a killer would know that. So it does this whole episode does a really good job of switching tone between serious and funny. Much like the Ninth Doctor himself and Eccleston himself. And I really like the fact it combines both of those things and flips between them so seamlessly. It's a really good story, very underrated story. Number 5 on the list is Terror of the Vervoids. I find Terror of the Vervoids fun. I don't think season 23 has necessarily any masterpieces or classics in it, but most of the stories I find enjoyable to one degree or another. I like Mysterious Planet a lot, and I do enjoy Terror of the Vervoids. I mean, it does have that unfortunate Vervoid design with the Vervoid face that, you know, once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's just there. But other than that, it's a good story. I especially like the trial-less version that's on the season 23 box set a lot. But even the original version with the trial scenes was a fun watch. I've always enjoyed that story to one degree or another. It's not perfect, it has some issues, but I do like it overall. Mel's a bit bothersome in it. The one scientist that helped create him, the female scientist, I know she's a very famous actress, her death seemed very unnecessary. I have to go talk to him, and he's like, no, don't do that, and then she gets killed, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, you should have listened to him and not done that. Seems a bit pointless. But I still enjoy it. I think, again, the plant design overall works, except for the face thing. I think it's a cool design. I like how he basically stops them at the end with the bomb, and they all just kind of wilt and turn brown. Pretty neat effect. Yeah, I like Terror of the Vervoids. But again, the trial-less version I enjoy because, you know, I don't have to watch all of Trial of the Time Lord. I can just watch that as a standalone episode, and that's pretty cool. Plus, I love the unique intro credits for it as well. Number 4 on the list is Day of the Doctor, which is good. I like Day of the Doctor. It's more a celebration of modern Who, in my opinion, than Doctor Who as a whole. I actually think Power of the Doctor might do a better job at celebrating Doctor Who as a whole. But I still like Day of the Doctor. it's one of those stories on rewatch. I feel like I could fast forward through parts of it, to be honest, but it's good. I like all the little Easter eggs in it. Of course, I love seeing all of the doctors save Gallifrey, and that wonderful bit at the end with the curator of the museum showing up to meet the 11th Doctor is always one of my favorite moments in Doctor Who. Always puts a smile on my face. I love that scene. And seeing Tennant back was great, even if his hair's not right. That always bugs me, his hair not being right. But it's nice to see it. I like Osgood. She's a cool character. I'm glad we got to see more of her. I like it. It's just, it could have been better. Could have been better. Then we have at number 3, we have the Keeper of Turchin. I like the Keeper of Turchin. I just talked about this in another video when I was talking about 4th Doctor stories I would save in each season. Keeper of Turchin, I think, is Anthony Ainley's best performance in the show. I love him as Tremas. He's so good at playing this very noble, wise, caring person. So it's all the more tragic, with his eventual fate and what happens to him. I think Tom Baker's really good in the story. To me, he really seems like he's putting a lot of effort into the Keeper of Turchin. Even though he knows he's about to be going soon, he really seems like he's doing a lot in it. I like Sarah Sutton as Nyssa in this. Adric and Tom get on really well in this. I like some of their dialogue together in it. I enjoy it, and I think it's a great way to bring the Master back. I like seeing the Master come back, because we don't get much of him in Tom Baker's era, so it's nice to see him back. I think it's a good penultimate story, one of the best. Hey guys, I did forget to mention part 2, which of course is World Enough in Time. When I was filming the video, somehow I just jumped right over it in the list. Now, whether you count The World Enough in Time, Dr. Falls, and Twice Upon Time as a 2-parter and then the finale, or whether you count that as a 3-parter, I think is up to you. I could see it going either way, much like Utopia, Sound of Drums, and Last of Time Lord. Is that one story and then a 2-parter, or is it a 3-parter? That's, I guess, up to the person. I count them separately, even though Dr. Falls leads into Twice Upon a Time. I tend to count them separately. So for me, the penultimate story would be World Enough in Time and Dr. Falls, which is a great 2-parter. Part 2 doesn't quite live up to part 1, but it's still really good. I mean, we have a multi-master story for the first time ever, and it's great seeing Sims and Missy together. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. I like this version of Sims Master probably the best of his 3 appearances. He just seems better. It seems like he's written better. I like that. I love the reveal of the Master at the end, even though that was kind of, leaked in the trailer ahead of time, but I still thought it was a pretty cool reveal. I like seeing Mondasian Cybermen again, because I do think they're truly the creepiest Cyberman design. So it's nice seeing that. Ironic seeing Bill turned into one. I won't say ironic, that's the wrong choice of words, but it was interesting. I will say that, to see a companion turn into a Cyberman and he couldn't fix it. I love that Bill gets her happy ending with Heather. I think that's pretty neat. I did enjoy that. And Capaldi is just a masterclass of acting in that 2-parter. He is just fantastic in it. I really liked him in it. So yeah, it's a good story. It's not perfect, but I do like it. Capaldi gets his great I do what I do because it's right speech, which is absolutely amazing. Just a masterclass of acting. And number 1 on the list, I'm going to go with Curse of Fenrik. I wasn't sure technically if I should count Survival or Curse of Fenrik as his penultimate story. And to be honest, I'm sure his actual penultimate story would be something in Big Finish. But I didn't want to count Survival. I wanted to go like his penultimate full story in the TV show, which makes Fenrik seem better. Plus, I just love Curse of Fenrik. I think it's McCoy's best story. I think it's his most quintessential story, and I think it's the essential McCoy story a Doctor Who fan should watch, with Remembrance being a close second, I will add. I just think Sylvester McCoy is firing on all cylinders in this story. I think Sophie Aldred is great as Ace in this story. She gets some great character development in this story. I love all of the guest cast. I mean, we have Nick Parsons in it. And I'm so glad he was on the behind the scenes making of that they did for the box set, because I know he was like 96 at the time, and he passed away shortly after the release of the box set. So I'm glad he was on it. He's great in the episode. I don't like the way his character's death was handled in the episode. I get what they were going for. I just kind of wished it had been more, it's a little too needless. I wish it had been more impactful. I love the design of the hemivores in it, the vampires, their little character design where they have that kind of crustaceous look. I think that's really well done. Excellent makeup, excellent makeup. I love when Classic Who pulls this kind of stuff off. Looks really, really good. I love the character of Fenrik. I love the chess, basically the game of chess. They've literally and figuratively been playing across the ages. I've been enjoying that. Both of the actors who were possessed by Fenrik in the end, the professor and the soldier, both of them do a good job playing pre-possess them and post-possess them. They both do a really, really good job. The two girls that end up, becoming the vampires are great before and after, and I love when they go back to go after their kind of stepmother or landlady or whatever. It's a dark story. Curse of Fenrik's a very dark story. One of those, not everybody has a happy ending in Doctor Who stories. Lots of people die. And then the one soldier who gets pulled into the water, which I'm going to be honest, he deserved that. If I had been in that situation and there are these girls with really long nails, come play with us, I'd be like, pass. I'm going to go patrol over here a little bit. They kind of had that coming. Yeah, Curse of Fenrik's definitely my favorite, what I would call penultimate Doctor story. So I'd like to know what you think of this list and which ones you would pick in this situation. So comment down below and let me know. I always enjoy hearing from you guys. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button. That helps me out, and I really appreciate it. I am trying to grow the channel to 1,000 subscribers. That is one of my goals for 2023, to reach 1,000 subscribers. So I appreciate all the help I can get on that. I also have a Patreon that helps me keep bills paid. If you would like to support me on that, there is a link to that down in the description below as well. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Colin Coney, Stephen Crane, and Finn Perkins. I appreciate their continued support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. I also have a P.O. box down in the description as well. If there's anything you would like to send me to look at and review. And there's also a link to my Amazon wishlist and my Amazon UK wishlist down there as well. Most importantly though, thank you for watching.